All right, today we're heading to Mazatlan, Mexico, to uncover the absolutely incredible story of a legendary theater. I mean, this is a drama that has it all: soaring success, tragic death, complete ruin, and then a spectacular rebirth that basically revived an entire city.
But every great theater has its secrets, and this one is definitely no different. It's one of those places where history feels so real, so tangible, that some people say it never actually left. We're talking about workers and visitors reporting sounds they can't explain, seeing things, and just getting that feeling that they are not alone.
So, what is it about this building? How does an architectural jewel end up as a roofless wreck slated for demolition, only to come back stronger than ever? Well, to really get it, you have to start with the tragedy that gave the theater its name. The theater's entire identity, its whole story, is wrapped up in one of the most famous opera singers of the 19th century. And it all comes down to a bizarre, heartbreaking twist of fate that tied her to this stage forever. See, it wasn't always named after her. It first opened its doors as the Teatro Rubio, a grand project by a businessman named Manuel Rubio. But its destiny was completely rewritten with the arrival of Ángela Peralta, a soprano so incredibly gifted she was known all across Europe as the Mexican Nightingale. So picture this: it's August 1883. Peralta and her famous Italian opera company arrive in Mazatlan to perform. The whole city is buzzing with excitement. But what they don't know is that a yellow fever epidemic is silently sweeping through the port. On August 24th, Peralta, already feeling sick, pushes through to direct the rehearsal for Aida. That would be the last time she set foot in the theater. She never made it to the stage for her performance. Just 6 days later, she died in her room at the Hotel Iturbide, right next door, without ever singing a single note for the people of Mazatlan. But before that awful tragedy, the theater was the absolute pinnacle of culture and society in Mazatlan. To really understand what was lost, we've got to rewind and look at its glorious beginnings.
Okay, so construction kicks off in 1869, and people were so excited for this place that it actually opened its doors in 1874 while work was still going on. Then, by 1881, it had been sold and lavishly remodeled. It was reinaugurated as the most elegant, most beautiful venue in all of Northwest Mexico. A stunning Italian-style horseshoe theater just waiting for the world's greatest performers.
And it really was the heart of the city. This wasn't just a building. It was the stage for Mazatlan's high society. We're talking grand operas, Spanish light opera called Zarzuela, and all the major civic events. If anything important was happening, it was happening here. It was the cultural epicenter of a booming port city. But you know how it goes. Golden ages don't last forever. After its heyday, the theater started a long, painful slide into neglect and, well, eventually, total devastation. You can literally track its decline just by looking at what was being shown. The sophisticated operas of the late 19th century gave way to movies in the 1920s. Then it got even grittier. Boxing matches, wrestling, wild carnival dances, and even burlesque shows. The glamour was fading, and fast. In 1943, the city officially renamed it the Ángela Peralta Theater. But it was a strange honor because it happened just as the building itself was really starting to fall apart. And then came the final devastating blow. In 1975, Hurricane Olivia, a massive Category 4 storm, just tore through Mazatlan. It ripped the entire roof clean off the theater, leaving its beautiful, ornate interior completely exposed to the wind and rain. The aftermath was just shocking. For more than 10 years, this once glorious theater was nothing but a hollowed-out shell. Ficus trees literally started growing up through the floor of the auditorium, and maybe the biggest insult of all, people started using it as a mechanic's workshop for the city's famous open-air taxis, the Pulmonías. By 1985, the city had just had enough. The building was seen as a dangerous eyesore, a magnet for crime. The city council made it official. They proposed to tear it down and just erase it from the map for good. But right then, just as the wrecking ball was about to swing, something extraordinary happened. A small group of really passionate citizens just refused to let their history be destroyed. This was a total grassroots effort. A group called Friends of the Angela Peralta Theater got organized. They found their champion in an architect, Juan Jose Leon Loya, who designed this incredibly ambitious restoration project. And, crucially, they got the support of a new mayor, Jose Ángel Pescador, who actually saw the value in saving this piece of the city's soul. Architect Leon Loya knew exactly what was at stake. He called it an architectural jewel, and he was right. He recognized its unique Italianate design, a style you just couldn't find anywhere else in the region. He wasn't just rebuilding a structure, he was preserving a cultural masterpiece. But here's the cool part. The project wasn't just about restoring the past, it was about building for the future. So they replaced the old wooden balconies with strong concrete and steel. They actually added a modern orchestra pit, something the original theater never even had. And they put in a state-of-the-art air conditioning system, a huge upgrade from the basic ventilation of the 1880s.
And so, on October 23, 1992, almost 20 years after the hurricane left it in ruins, the theater opened its doors for a third time. And with a huge, grand performance of the opera Carmen, the Angela Peralta was reborn, more beautiful and technically advanced than it had ever been before.
But the story doesn't stop there. The resurrection of the theater created this ripple effect that completely transformed the city around it. And this is why this story matters so much. See, the restoration sparked this whole new idea for the area, the Museo Vivo, which means living museum. The concept is that a historic district shouldn't just be a bunch of old buildings you look at. No, it should be a dynamic, vibrant place where people live, work, and create, blending the past and the present for everyone to experience. In the end, saving the Angela Peralta Theater was the catalyst, the spark, that led to rescuing the entire historic center of Mazatlan. What was once a decaying, forgotten neighborhood is now this thriving hub filled with art galleries, amazing restaurants, and cultural life. It's a magnet for both locals and tourists. The theater's incredible success story was really cemented in 2019. That's the year it received the emblematic Venue Award from the National Auditorium. This basically recognized it as one of the most important spaces for live performance in all of Mexico. It had officially gone from a total ruin to a national treasure. So, what about those stories that we started with? You know, with so much history, so much drama packed inside these walls, it's really no surprise that some people say certain presences still linger, just refusing to take their final bow. Even today, the staff and visitors still whisper about them. The permanent guests. The man in the 1920s suit who they see smoking in the lobby. The mysterious woman in black who seems to be endlessly searching for someone on the stairs. And maybe creepiest of all, the spirits of lost children. A boy who appears in the dressing rooms, and a young girl seen way up on the third balcony. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? In a place with a soul this strong, does the performance ever truly end?